Afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar with the USGBC Texas and the City of Houston's Building Resource Center. We're looking forward to this presentation, which had to be rescheduled, unfortunately, from last week. So forward to this. So thank you for joining us. As we go through, please put your questions into the chat. We'll send several reminders to the presentation as well. With that, I'll turn things over to Steve Stelzer to introduce our presenter today. Over to you, Steve.
Hey, thanks, Jonathan. So welcome, everyone. Very excited to get the bugs worked out and get Patricia here to actually introduce this new data portal here that's going to be available to anyone for free to better understand their energy use at home. And this has been an interesting process. Patricia reached out to me, at least a year ago, and we've been kind of collaborating a bit. She's been just kind of gathering stakeholder information on, how to get this to be as usable as possible. And so anyway, I can't wait for her to get going and tell you, because I just think this is extremely usable. I've tried doing it the hard way. It's not fun, and this is magnificent. So without further ado, Patricia, take it away.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thanks, Jonathan and Steve, for organizing this and for everyone to participate. All your help to get us to this point as well. So I'm Patricia Vega. I am the founder of Quantum New Energy. We're based in Houston, and I have a few pages that I'll go over. Let me see how I move these pages. Okay. So the first one is a little bit about myself and about the company. So I am an energy industry veteran with 25 years of experience. I started my career as a field engineer and work globally in basically every region around the world: Latin America, the North Sea, Europe, Middle East, Far East, etc. And it was always developing technologies, mainly data-related and digital and advanced sensing technologies, to optimize assets and operations that supply energy to the world. I'm an engineer. I studied engineering in Colombia, and I also have studies in energy innovation and emerging technologies from Stanford, and I just recently graduated from Yale in corporate sustainability strategy. So that is my background. We basically built this platform that we call Wisely, and I'm here to cover today, to provide a way for people and organizations to enhance their energy efficiency, reduce their energy costs, and cut emissions. Energy Star is our partner, as we're very focused on energy efficiency, and we are also DataGuard compliant. Here are just some highlights about the context of how we see Wisely playing a service for the Texas community based on our challenges and opportunities. Of course, Texas and Houston being the global industry leader and this ongoing energy transition, and how to make sure that everybody, including the community and people, play a role in that context, particularly keeping in mind that 14% of people in the state live below the poverty line and 42% make less than the living cost. Of course, that is a reality that impacts more greatly communities of color and minorities. And the other very important piece is that Texas is the largest CO2 emitter in the US. In average, each household emits between 20 to 90 tons of carbon per year. And many of us are not even aware of that. So what are the opportunities? The opportunity is that, likewise, many of us don't know how much energy goes wasted in buildings without we even knowing. And that is related to inefficiencies. So if we could use this data to now provide the tools and the knowledge for all of us starting to at least being aware. And then as people become increasingly aware and increasingly curious and hopefully motivated, then start triggering the action. So basically it's flipping the script from apathy to action through providing this experience with the tool. And the other second amazing and exciting opportunity is that we already have 7 million existing smart meters that have been deployed around the state. And they are already in people's homes. So that is where we saw the opportunity. The other, oh goodness, sorry, I went on the different direction. The other one insight that we developed through the process was that as we interview many of our users and people in the community in general, what we realized was that 90% of the people were saying that they feel they overpay in energy, and a lot of the focus was on electricity plants. And there were so many other factors that people were not even aware. Inefficiencies, carbon emission, leaks, etc. We call that the real energy cost. And our goal with NYSL is to make all of those more explicit and more visible to people, to build that awareness, but also to provide the knowledge and the tools to know what to do about it. So I'll just leave it at that here. Jonathan, if you're interested, I can share this package with you after the webinar, and you're welcome to share with the participants.
Thank you.
So we went ahead and we built this tool that basically helps people connect securely the data from their smart meters and provides an analytical layer. So we file and got 3 patents based on our work. And as I mentioned in the beginning, we are both an Energy Star partner and compliant with DataGuard. What it means is we're very big on user data privacy, so we never sell or share people's data with anyone. And then, of course, our goals I mentioned before, so they're to the right. We believe this is a tool that can support programs that already exist within cities, within organizations, within different groups, and can be synergized with those groups as well. So the idea is, once again, how to connect the entire community, build these coalitions, and create the movement. And then I'll move now on how it works. And I think the best way to show how it works is to show in the tool itself. So if you allow me, Jonathan, I'm going to switch now to show NYSL. And I'm going to open it here. So basically what you see here is what an existing user is going to see when they log back into their accounts, once the account is created. So I'll start with this, and then we can go later in a little bit of more detail on what happens when a new user is creating their account. So this is the dashboard, and the dashboard has multiple sections. In the top section, we have kind of the high level statistics, how much energy has been used in the last 12 months, the home energy score, which I'll go into a little bit of more detail in a moment. It also calculates how much energy is being wasted, and it just shows it just right there, and the carbon emissions. So those are kind of the 4 key indicators. It also helps find electricity plants. So if somebody is in the market for an electricity plant, that's fine. And as you know, there are many sites that provide access to electricity plant information, but don't have these efficiency tools. Now, finally, there's an integrated solution or one-stop solution that does both. So people can basically leave partial savings behind. The middle section is where we have these periodic reports. And people can look at different periods, whether it is this last week versus the previous week, or the last week versus the same week last year, or the last month versus the same month last year. So let's go for a moment to the last, and this is the information of my house, by the way. So if we look at my last month, which in this case will be June versus 2022 versus June 2021, is going to show me June 2022 is in the lighter blue, and June 2021 is going to be in the lighter blue. So people can always scroll to the bars and get the actual reading for that specific month. And then the green line is going to show the differences in outdoor temperature. So what this shows is, you see the axis on the right is the temperature. So what it shows is that basically all throughout the month of June 2022, we have hotter outdoor temperatures compared to June 2021. So it is also telling me here in the summary at the top that yes, in fact, June 2022 has been about 3% hotter. And my consumption in my home is about 25% more. So for most homes, that would be like a lot. But in my case, we got a Tesla. So now we're charging this electric vehicle that we didn't have last year. So other cases, whether people getting electrical vehicles or perhaps thinking about decarbonizing their homes, so moving from gas stoves or gas water heaters to electric, those might be things that are going to show those increases in electricity consumption from one period to the next. So I'm going to pause here for a second, Jonathan, and see if maybe anyone has any comments. No? Okay, so I'll continue. So here to the right is the section that is going to be more about celebrating progress. And I'll get to a moment from the home energy score, which is where people kind of get their diagnostic of their energy efficiency and how they compare to others, to what to do about it. And as people get personalized recommendations and start taking actions, then they're going to earn points and badges and prizes. So that is an area where I'm really seeking a lot of support from the community to sponsor small prizes for the community. And those prizes can be just experiences. Maybe it is a leader that is willing to meet with a community that is making progress, reducing their carbon or reducing their energy intensity or learning about energy efficiency, or is a business that want to give a little prize. So the more everyone in the community helps celebrate and reward people that make this kind of progress and get in this journey, I think we're going to get more participation and collectively better results. People also get weekly reports. So once they have done their online audit or assessment or quiz, they're also going to get weekly reports. And those weekly reports are going to be the highlights. Okay, this week compared to last week, you consume this much more or less. And everything is going to be expressed in the terms of savings. So for people that are wanting to get a little bit more information about those savings, those specific items, then we have information buttons that show, how things get calculated, the energy use, the trees that are saved, which is just a way to represent basically the pounds equivalent of CO2 from the electricity consumption as trees, and then the leaks, which is the energy that is used during what we call idle times, which will be people being away from home or sleeping compared to the base load of the building or the house, which is calculated based on the real data. So those will be kind of the indicators here on the bottom left that are both in the dashboard and also people getting the weekly reports. And then they have the consumption details, which is basically the breakdown of the energy consumption based on the features of the home and the real data. And then here are some examples of some of the recommendations that we'll offer to people. In this case, everything is pending because I'm still needing to go back and say, yes, this was done. So please give me points and give me my badge. So now I can participate towards earning prizes. So that is once again the dashboard that people will see once they go back into their accounts. If they want to get more details, like say on the home energy score, they can click their home energy score. And what it's going to show is in a simple 1 to 10 scale, is 1 being the higher energy use, 10 being the lowest energy use, where this person is compared versus the Texas average. And that is based on the energy intensity, which is how much energy is used per square footage. So we know what is the average of Texas being 7.82, and then in this case, this particular home being 557. So there are multiple ways of showing the data. So people just prefer to say, okay, so in average, how better am I compared to others? So that is equivalent to 29% less than the average. Then we also show how much could be saved by taking actions. So in this case, it's $1,423, and 663 of those are coming from efficiency measures. 789 are related to those leaks. And then, of course, the electricity plan, it varies depending on the plan that might be selected. But then also for people that are increasingly aware and interested of their carbon footprint is that put in the terms of trees. That is easy to understand. Then the second page of the home energy score is based on the inputs that people are giving us. So for this demo, I put like, oh, everything was bad. So there were not too many factors helping reduce the cost. But let's say somebody says that have the LED lights, that will be a factor that is helping reduce the cost. In this case, for this demo, it says that this house doesn't have LED lights. So it's showing that is something that is increasing the cost. So everything is based on the inputs, not just the data, but also the inputs that the user provides. And once based on those inputs, then that is where the personalized recommendations comes. So if somebody says, okay, fine, this is my score, these are my opportunities to improve, what can I do about it? So then we want to know what are the goals? Is the goal, or rather, what are people willing to do in order to achieve their goals? Are they willing to adjust their behavior? Are they willing to make some investments, or both? And depending on what that is, then of course, that's going to show the recommendation. So in this case, let's say that it's all of the above, meaning I'm going to adjust my behavior and also I'm going to make some investments. So it's going to ask the person also, how much are you willing to invest? So from low cost investments, less than $100, medium investments, under 500, high investments, more than $500. So for now, let's just say, just for this example, let's say that is high investments, and then we get recommendations. So it's going to show you the different recommendations, and people can also get more recommendations. So remember, in this case, I say that this house didn't have LED lights, so that would be one of the recommendations. So if I say, let's do it, it's going to put it in my list of activities. If I say that something I simply want to skip, then it's going to remove and it's going to give me a new different recommendation. Or if I come and I say that I already did it, so let's say that I installed some weather strips to my doors and windows, so then it's going to also celebrate me. So these are some of the experiences that we have added. So not only then that's going to be in my check in my to-do list, but also now I'm going to get a badge and some points. So I'll show that in a moment. So the point is that people can continue getting recommendations as they make progress or as they find the ones that they feel they want to work on. And also they have a place where their achievements get all tracked. So here will be the achievements section. So in this case, you see, I say that I took an action, so I just earned a badge. And here I see how many points I have in total and what status I am. I can always go back and get more recommendations. If I want to see more details, I go back to those 4 KPIs that I find throughout the application, whether in the achievement section or in the dashboard. And if somebody wants to say, okay, now I got this badge, what other badges might be available? So then they can get all the badges and now start getting curious. Well, this is cool. How do I get this badge? And then start getting recommendations to earn the different badges. So the idea is, once again, that we have a tool that not only has the real data and has all the analytics, but also provides the information, the education, and the experience. so that people can track their progress, feel good about what they're doing, be rewarded, and then they can also share this with their friends and the community. Jonathan, do you want me now to go maybe through some of the process if somebody is new and is just setting up their account? You're muted.
Yes, yes, that would be a great opportunity to show how someone would find the information needed to sign in.
Okay, very good. So because this account already has the meter connected, I'll simply go for 1 minute to the PowerPoint. And here, basically, the account gets created, as Steve said, is free. This tool is free for the community in Texas, the regulated areas. It works for customers of any electricity company. And all people need is their name, the email address, their home address, the meter number, and the name of the electricity company. Where people might find it sometimes a little bit difficult is finding the meter number. So we have illustrations like this in the application where people can say, okay, it is somewhere in your electricity bill, and it's not always in the same place because every electricity company has their bills laid out differently, but it's also in the device itself. Typically it is 8 to 9 digits number. So that is what they will enter. If for some reason somebody is having a little bit of a struggle, because sometimes people confuse the meter number with the ESID number, they can simply take a picture of the bill, and now the tool has a way to upload that picture, and then our sustaining team is going to help them kind of set up and say, okay, this is your meter number, we're going to enter it. But so that with that information, the account gets created, and then once it is downloaded, so I'm gonna go back to Wisely now. So that is where people will land once that is done. So they will get into their usage history. So the interface has been optimized for mobile because we realize that most people get to know about Wisely when they're in the go and it's from their iPhones. That they might want to interact with the tool. So the interface has been optimized for mobile. But of course, it also works in desktop and other devices. So this is the first thing that people almost instantly get to see. Those will be the 12 months of energy consumption. And then people can see here is shown in a monthly basis. They can always scroll through the curve and see how much is that. And they can see that in kilowatt hours, or they can see it in dollars using the Texas average. It's going to show the total 12 months, and then the average consumption per month. What is the month that was the highest usage? In this case, is June, and when was the minimum? In this case, was March. So that is part of that awareness. Then it can be seen seasonally or weekly. We also show the breakdown of the consumption between days and nights, and weeks and weekends. And then here we start asking some of the questions. So the idea is to minimize the number of inputs that people will have to enter. So basically general information about their schedules, what time they wake up, leave home, go to sleep, return from work, during the weekdays, during the weekends, and then some information about the set points of their thermostats, for cooling, for heating throughout the year, how many people live in the house, and whether they work from home or they don't. Based on those inputs, so this is kind of done on a gradual basis. The account gets created by entering the meter information. They get to see the usage history and breakdowns. Then they enter some additional inputs, and now they get to see the environmental impact. And that would be things like, for example, how many pounds, because that is the pounds of CO2 from the electricity usage in the last 12 months. And that is equivalent to how many miles that a car will have driven on the road. Then, of course, just as a point of reference is the typical passenger vehicle, how many pounds of CO2 will emit. So that will be 10,000. In this case, this home emits 27, so it's almost equivalent to 3 cars. So it's just giving those points of reference to people that we believe are going to be helpful insights. And then the next thing that we do is we show that if I wanted to offset that, how many trees will I have to plant? And then of course we express that in, and then we explain how that gets calculated. So all throughout the application, there will be additional information for people that might be interested in getting to know how these things got calculated or what is the background about it. And then the last thing is the information about the electricity fuel mix that was used to make this calculation. The next piece is going to be the evaluation of the energy efficiency itself. And here again is just a few inputs that most people know, or almost every person know about their home, which are the age of the home, the size, the type of heating system, water heating system, age of the air conditioning, age of the water heater, and then again, more about the lights, whether or not they have a smart thermostat, if they have a pool or not, refrigerators, etc. And so in this case, I'm just going to switch and say it is an electrical vehicle. So now it's going to show once again, because people ask us, okay, good, bottom line, what is my insight? So the bottom line here is how much energy you're wasting, and then how much money that is. And Steve, I see that you are mute. Do you have a question?
Yeah, we had a question in the chat about solar panel power, and that was on this previous screen, and maybe you could also do that.
Yeah, so in that case, if I come here to the home features, yes, the person can also input whether or not their home has solar panels. So again, this is a demo, right? So I'm going to say, yes, the home has solar panels. So that is important to keep a personalized profile of the user. Once again, thinking about the different stakeholders per se. Let's say it is the city of Houston, right, that is interested on promoting this awareness in communities. So that is a way, even though we never sell or share people's data, we'll be able to say in this zip code, these many homes have electrical vehicles, or these many homes have solar panels, or these many homes have this age of air conditioners. So that is good insight for the sponsor of the program to get to know their constituencies better, and then direct the education and the programs in a way that are more relevant to the users, and then of course to guide the analytics. So there is a kind of this multi-stakeholder benefit for the sponsor of the program, the user itself, because then the analytics get personalized and the recommendations get personalized, and then of course for the tool to do the best possible work. One of the things that people ask, especially for people like yourself, guys, that know this space very well, is how do you calculate this waste? So we basically, what we do is we calculate the baseline, the base load for the home based on the 12 months of historical energy consumption and the information that people gave us about their schedules. And then we call this away and idle times, being away, the time in which people are away from home, or idle, the time when people are sleeping. And we compare that versus that base load, and we say, well, it seems that there are some opportunities to adjust your set points, perhaps setting your smart thermostat to eco mode while you're away from home, or switching off lights when nobody is awake, or turning on electronics. So that's going to guide, depending on how these calculations work, is going to guide, once again, the personalized recommendations. Not everybody enjoys that kind of more kind of engineering type of look of the graph. So then we also have it just as simple as this. But the idea here is having a tool that is going to be usable for somebody that is very knowledgeable. And of course, I welcome, and I would like to actually invite all of you to get your hands on, sign in, play with the tool, give us feedback. It can always for sure be better. So I welcome the feedback and the ideas for improvement. And likewise for, the general community, as we, bring it to neighborhoods and schools and churches and places, then also kind of balancing the two, the knowledge of the experts and the guidance from the experts with what the general user at any level of experience tell us this is what they would like to see and this is how this could help them. Then the next point is, as I mentioned, the consumption breakdown. So that is how people will get, those details. So here they can scroll through it and say it as dollars or kilowatts, and all of that that we went through is going to take them now the next step at this point, as they went through this flow, will take them to the home energy score. So if this was the first time that the person was going through, they will have connected the meter, answer the questionnaire, got those insights first about environmental impact, second about efficiency and waste. Now they will come here to say, okay, so what is my score? What do you recommend? And they will get through the recommendations. So we kind of made it from the end to the beginning, but now we're going back from the beginning to the end. And once they have done that, and let's say, okay, they already took an action, so they log out, they continue to get their weekly reports. They can always also set a reminder to shop electricity if in case they have a plan that is going to expire and they want to be reminded. But also they can always go back to the dashboard. So the idea is, once again, it's a tool and a dashboard that it stays with the user regardless of who their electricity provider is or whether they switch electricity companies. They can maintain this. It is free, and I believe and I hope is very helpful.
We did have a couple other questions, Patricia. One actually regarding what you were just talking about with data sources and working with any energy provider. Does it also work for people who are in our area with a municipal provider like Austin Energy or CPS or El Paso Electric?
It could, but in that case, we'll need to, so let's say this is Austin municipality. Then we'll need to work with the Austin municipality and say, okay, well, if your data is not in SmartMeterTexas, then how do we create the connection to that data so we can allow your community members to use it wisely? So yeah, it will have that extra leg of work, but it can be done.
Okay, so is that done with each of the individual municipal providers then?
Yes.
Or for each,
yes.
Or is that to be done by each user, or is that just once someone in that area connects, then you're able to work with anybody from the Austin Energy?
So it is really a great question, Jonathan. Thank you. So it is really an ecosystem. So we work, of course, in partnership with those data hubs. So we'll need to enable that data hub in order for the homes or the buildings within that area to have access to that data. So yeah, let's say we start getting a lot of inquiries from homes in Austin, right? So that will tell us, and then we can use that information to go back to the Austin municipality and say, hey, your homes are coming with inquiries because right now your data is not connected. Could we create a connection for the data? Once we create that connection for the data, then of course everyone in that community will have a way to use the tool. Right now we are connected to SmartMeterTexas, and we're working to now make the connection to Green Button Alliance. So we're bringing EnerWisely not only nationwide but also internationally. So anyone that is in the Green Button Alliance protocol or Green Button protocol will have access to EnerWisely.
Okay, there's another question, actually two that kind of sort of interact. One is on solar panels and sizing and getting information into the system based on actual performance. And the other is, does the system and the dashboard interact or accept data from like a Nest or a Wi-Fi connected thermostat?
So the level of service that we showed today is what we went through. We're working with a couple of solar providers on how to use energy wisely to optimize sizing and sizing and operation of solar panels, especially combined with batteries. So that is something that we're working on and is coming. And likewise, we'll introduce later this year a couple of subscription options for people to be able to have real-time data on grid renewable content and being able to control and optimize their smart devices for renewable content as well. So yes, no, absolutely. That is where the platform capabilities continue expanding.
Fantastic. I know those are the questions that I saw that have been in the chat. If anybody has any additional questions, please drop them in there. I did have a question too. You straight look at leaks. Are those calculated by leaks that typically happen within a home, or is there specific information you're looking at for those things?
Yeah. So yeah, the way how they're getting calculated by the tool, let me come back here to the energy efficiency section. What we're calling leaks here is more really waste. And basically that is when I went through, we calculate the base load of each one of the buildings. So we have the usage in a time series every 15 minutes for the property from the meter data, and then we have the degree days information, the weather information, and locational data. So that is where the algorithms start playing. So we calculate the base load, and then knowing the degree days and knowing the schedules, then we're able to do this analysis that we have. So it's basically like an integrated or integral of function, if you like, and that compares the base load versus how much energy is consumed in idle versus away periods. Of course, this could be complemented. That's a good point. Let's say with physical audits. So if there is a physical audit, that could be this energy wisely. The way how we see energy wisely is this could be a good entry point for people to start becoming aware of how they use energy, and now eventually get the next step could be a physical audit, maybe some retrofits now to physically improve specific areas of concern or issues. And that is where, once again, working not just with the homes themselves, but also working with organizations that might be promoting energy efficiency measures or might be promoting energy audits. Then that is where the ecosystem becomes more powerful and more effective.
Okay, fantastic. So as you said, this tool is free.
Yes.
For people to use. There's a question in the chat. So it is a free program, but how is this funded? Because it has to be paid for somewhere.
Yeah.
And what is the background behind that? The infrastructure, I guess.
Absolutely. That is a great question, because of course people get suspicious. Wait a minute, are you selling my data because you're giving me this for free? Honestly, as a startup, we benefit from multiple ways. One of the ways how we have benefited the most is putting this very quickly in the hands of people and getting that feedback. We learn tremendously when people tell us, hey, this didn't work, this I don't understand, this should be better, this should be different. So that is, for us, is user research. It is also brand awareness. So we build the brand awareness, the brand recognition, and of course the relationships with the communities and with our partners. So in a way that is, if you like, also kind of a marketing budget that gets allocated into funding this layer as free. And then full disclosure, people don't have to buy anything from us, but we have a marketplace. We have a marketplace for electricity plans. If somebody buys, our recommendations are curated. And if somebody buys something from the marketplace, we get a referral free from those marketplace participants. That will be at the free service level. Now, as I mentioned, we are working on introducing some subscription-based levels of service that will have more features, Now we have access not only to electricity plans from our provider, but from all the electricity plans in part to choose. And we don't get any commissions from any electricity companies to, in that case, recommend from all of those different plans. So we continue to listen to the users and say, hey, we'd like to see this, and then how to, of course, build a business and at the same time. And so it has been really a learning journey for us. But I think we have been able to reach that way to maintain this free, everything, for example, for the energy efficiency audit or the energy quiz, as we call it, at the home energy score, it is completely free for any user. And there is, once again, no need to buy. We hope people like the tool and they say, hey, since I'm already here, let me shop for my electricity plan. But there's really no need for that. But just the voice, the word of mouth, that somebody tells somebody else, hey, have you seen this tool? Go check it out. That helps us tremendously. And that has, of course, a monetary value for us.
So you, we were talking earlier, how many folks are currently using this system and where are they located generally?
What do you mean, where are they located?
So are they in Houston? Are they all over Texas? Are they
Oh.
other parts of the country?
Yeah, no, right now it is, the service is available in Texas. Q3 will start expanding outside Texas as we continue that green button integration. Most of the users, I would say perhaps 60% are in Houston. We have also a big usage in Dallas. And then we have users in some other places around the state.
Okay. So what has the response been from cities or communities, and especially the energy companies?
Yeah. So look, we work with, we have been growing our partnership base for electricity companies. So really, we have built very strong relationships with the electricity companies, have 20 brands of the leading providers in our marketplace. We have some others that are now in the works. Work very closely with SmartMeterTexas as well. So we're really very observant of the requirements, especially when it comes to data privacy and compliance with the frameworks, etc. We believe in transparency is key to build the trust with our partners and the users. In terms of communities and cities, we work very closely with the city of Houston. So I myself, I'm a volunteer in the Houston Climate Action Plan for the Equity Group. And we hope to bring this to the communities and to help these, to provide the tools and the knowledge for communities to become increasingly aware about the ways how their energy goes wasted, their energy efficiency, how to say, what to do. The buildings efficiency group and Steve have been great mentors for us, providing feedback. And we hope all of you watching this webinar and this recording and this call join this coalition and provide the feedback and help us. So yeah, I have some initial connections with the city of Dallas and the city of Austin as well. So yeah, the plan is to continue expanding those partnerships and that outreach.
So just to reiterate, how does someone, I know you covered this toward the beginning, how does someone go about creating an account to join or to use this tool?
Yeah, so let me log out for 1 second and go through the creation of an account. Just 1 minute. Okay, so if somebody, let me move this for a moment. So if somebody goes to enerwisely.com, that will be the website, and there's information about shopping electricity. There's information about, learning facts about energy. There's the home energy score, and of course, there's the homepage. So if somebody clicks sign up for free, it's going to take them to create an account. So as I mentioned, all you have to do is enter your name, So I'll say Patricia Vega, and I'll just say Patricia demo@.com just for now. If they are, and here is where the partnerships and the ecosystem starts playing. So we're going to be running a summer program with a community organization that wants to help kids learn about energy efficiency with their parents. So we're going to create a promo code for that program, and then users will come and use the promo code. So then we're able to aggregate those users within that promo code and run little reports and say, okay, this was the, let's say, the energy intensity in the beginning, this is how this is progressing, etc. Not everybody has that referral code. So in that case, that is just optional. It doesn't make a difference. And then of course, we need the permissions for creating the account. So they will create the account. Oh, okay, it seems that I already did a demo. So here, and here it is where people will enter the type of house or townhouse, apartment, whatever characteristic better fits. They will enter the address. So because this is being recorded, I'm not going to enter my actual home address, but I'll just, again, for the purpose of the demo, I'm just going to select any address. So of course, I don't know this address at all. I just randomly type an address. And then they will also enter their cell phone number. And the cell phone number, we never spam anyone with information. The cell phone number is only to notify about prices. So we only notify if somebody wins a prize or wins points or badges. That is the only notifications that they will get from us. So then that will continue. And well, it seems that in this case, because this, again, this is randomly is not. So I'm going to select another address here. So let's say, let's just select an address in my neighborhood. So then that is where they get to, and that is where people have had a little bit of more issue, again, finding the meter number. So we show them where the meter information is. They will have to enter the name of the electricity company. Again, I just randomly enter an address so that I don't leave here my personal information. So let's say it's Amigo Energy, just for the purpose, that was the electricity company. Then they will enter the meter number that is in their bill. We explain people why is it that we need that. And that is really because SmartMeterTexas, of course, as they're good stewards of people's data privacy. So they only release the data when they have those answers that match what is in their database. And if it matches, if the handshake is successful, then they say, yes, this is the valid person. Jonathan is the owner of this address. So I'm going to give them permission to access this data on their behalf with their permission. If normally people won't know who is the electricity provider of a given address. So that is supposed to be something that only the owner of the house or the renter of the house will know. And here the meter number. Of course, we need the permission once again. If for some reason somebody says, you know what, I want to skip this, or I need help, that is where, as I mentioned, we added this functionality now, where somebody can just add an image. They can take, if they're in their cell phones, they activate the camera and take the picture, and right there is going to upload it. I'm here in my desktop, so I can say add an image. So it's going to show me the different images that I have. I mentioned that we just launched today in Spanish. So this is the image. So I'm just going to use that as an image. So if that was that, then I will upload the image and then I continue the process. In the back, what happens is our sustaining team now gets notified. This account got created. They have issues connecting the meter. Go help them. So they're going to come, open a ticket, get the meter number, because normally that is where people have a little bit of trouble. And then we'll help them set that up, and they can go back. They'll get a notification. Now your meter number is in the system, and they can go back and connect the data, and then they will go through the journey that we went through. So of course, some people that are more familiar with the meter numbers, where to find them, reading their bills, they just do it right away. Some others, we offer this way, this help. That help with the question, Jonathan?
It actually does. Someone was also asking, is there a referral code that anybody who's on the call wants to refer somebody, if there's a referral code they should use?
Yes, and we can discuss, well, we don't have it yet, Jonathan, but if we can have a conversation, after this, and if there is interest within the organization to maybe launch a little program, and we want to, create a referral code for the team, then of course we can set it up, and then you guys yourselves can say, well, our target is to have maybe 10 users, and then collectively see what we observe, right, from this experience. Yes, absolutely, we can do those things.
All right, we'll talk afterwards. Then we will send that out in the follow-up email to those who are attending.
Very good.
Any other questions? Well, thank everybody for your flexibility on the rescheduling for this event. Hopefully it was as informative for you as for me. Thank you very much, Patricia. Looking forward to kind of exploring this tool a little bit more, even for myself. I know Steve already has an account. I looked at this a few days ago. So thank you.
No, thank you. I really appreciate the invitation once again, and I appreciate the work of all of you. You really carry the torch of energy efficiency in the city. It's a super important work. We don't even know how much good we could do if we all can do our part. People benefit personally, can save money, but then collectively, we all take also climate action. And it is together how we're going to get to net zero. It is together how we're going to build a more sustainable world. So thank you for letting me do my little part, and I look forward to working with all of you.
Thanks again, Patricia. Excellent presentation.
Thank you, guys. You all have a good day.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks, Jonathan. Thanks, everybody. And we'll catch you the next time.
Thank you.